Do you want to go faster in Notion? Of course you do. That's why you clicked on this video. How do you do that? Learn some great keyboard shortcuts. So we're going to go ahead and go over a bunch of great keyboard shortcuts that's hopefully going to increase your workflow in Notion by a significant amount. Let's get into it. We're going to start with text keyboard shortcuts, starting with italics. So there's two ways to do this. We can do star, italics, star, and that'll italic something, or we can go ahead and type in, we can hit Command I, and that'll set it to italics. We can also do this in the middle of a sentence. I want to make, and then we can press Command I, this, press Command I again to exit the italics, italics. Or of course you can just, I want to make star, this, star, italics. Also works, whatever you're into. Also works for bold, of course, so bold, or Command B, bold. Underline, I don't think that there is a markdown for underline in Notion, so it's just Command U, underline. Strike through is going to be this little, the tilde, so Shift tilde, and then strike through. Boom, nice tilde, or of course Command Shift, that's Command Shift H. Command Shift S, strike through. I accidentally made it purple. We'll see how to do that in a minute. Also, there's a cute little arrow here. You can type that in. That makes a nice arrow. Lovely. Emojis. So there's a cool thing in Notion. I only discovered this on accident, but if you type in a colon and then you start typing, say, joy, you can find some emojis, colon, fire. And so there's a really quick and easy way to do emojis. And then, of course, undo and redo. These are standard. Command Z to undo. And then you can go over here to Command Z and then Shift Command Z to redo. Those are super basic and super great to know. Of course, inline equations. If you want to make a fraction, that's not how you do fraction. 1, 2, and then boom. Nice, cute little fraction. Maybe I'll make a video on how to write math in Notion, which is, it uses LaTeX, which is it's a math language sort of. And if you want more, you can type in EQ block for a full text equation block. As you can see, here's an example they give you there. I'm not gonna type that in at the moment though. Moving on to selecting and deleting text. Mostly this is for Mac. I'm gonna go ahead and go through all of this and I'll tell you which one works on Windows and which one doesn't. So if you hit Command, Shift, and then the arrow key, you'll select the entire thing behind the cursor. You can also do Command Shift and then right arrow if you're at the beginning of a sentence to select everything to the right instead of the left. So if I go ahead and if I move my cursor to sentence and I press Command Shift left arrow, it'll select everything to the left of the cursor. And also you can hold Shift to select the text. So if I press Shift and I do it, it'll select the text. If I don't press Shift and I just press Command arrow, it'll move the cursor. And if I press Command and then backspace, it'll delete everything behind the cursor or in front of the cursor, depending on the arrow you press. Now, if I hit Option Shift arrow, I can select one word at a time, just one word behind or in front of the cursor, or I can move the cursor back or forth one word. And this is super helpful. If you type in a word just absolutely wrong, Option backspace, very great. Also, this is the one that does work on Windows. However, for this one, it's not Alt Shift and then arrow key, it's Control Shift arrow key. I don't know how to do the select full sentence in Windows. It might be possible, but I have not found that keyboard shortcut. So this is mostly for Mac. Shift arrow is going to pick one letter or one character, not letter, but one character behind or in front of the cursor. And then Command A will select everything in the current block. So if I'm in Notion and I say this is a block and then I press Shift Enter, this is a block, then if I press Command A, it'll select all of that. But if I press this and then enter, enter A, enter, block, and I press Command A, it'll only select the block. There is a way to select everything on a page, and that is by pressing Escape. So exit out of all blocks, press Command A, and then you can select every block on the page. Now, colors and Notion stuff. So if you want to do colors like this, it'll be a little bit different. But here, if you have a big old block of text, this is a if I could spell, this is a big old block of text, you can type in /orange or / and you can see colors. So if I type in color here, you can see all the color options in Notion. So we can say purple. And if I press enter, it'll make everything purple. And that'll make everything after it purple as well. If you want to do this, so like one letter at a time, that's when you're going to have to select the letter you want. So instead of using your mouse, you can do a shift arrow like we learned a bit ago. Come over here and you can go ahead and change your color to whatever you want to in specifics if you want to have multiple colors in one letter. It also doesn't change the block color. And if you want to go back to the default color, so the default color isn't always white. For example, if I make a toggle and I say purple, /purple, /purple, and then I come into this toggle here, type something, the default color is purple because that's what the toggle has. And so you can't really make it white, that's not allowed, but you can make it gray if you want to. But overall, /default, it will change it back to usually white. Command Shift and H will go ahead and give it the last color. So if I select this text and hit Command Shift H, our last color was gray, so it made it gray. So let's say I type in /orange here, and then I say text, and then I Command A that, and I hit Command Shift H again, it will make it orange. And that will also apply to background. So if I do background blue, and then I hit this one, and then Command Shift H, it will, there we go, there's a little blue background there. Command K to add a link. So if I select this and hit Command K, we can add a link. We can link it to a page in our thing. So if I type in home, there's my home page in Notion, and I can add that to this. Or you could just go ahead and paste a link. I'm not going to show you Command C, Command V. I think you know what those are. But if you have a link, for example, our favorite YouTube channel, we can just copy it, come over here and paste it in directly. And there we go. It's hyperlinked. No issues at all. But Command K, especially if you want to link it to a page in your thing, which is always super cool if you want to do that. And now enter will make a new block. We went over this briefly a second ago, but let's say I want to say, or this is for basically a new paragraph. Let's say I want, this is a paragraph. And now if I press enter or return, I guess on the MacBook keyboard, and this would be another, here we can, this is another paragraph. And there we go. That's two separate blocks. And you can see that because this one has its own handle, and this one has its own handle as well. And we can select those as two separate blocks. However, if we want to make a line break and we want to keep it on the same block, we're just going to press, this is a paragraph. If I learned how to spell, that would be super helpful. Paragraph. And now if I want to keep it in the same block, we're going to hit Shift Enter and then say this is the same paragraph. Paragraph. There we go. And now you can see there's only one little drag there, and if I select it, that's one entire. Command A on this will go ahead and select just the text in that block. Now, if you want to move a block, you can go ahead and click on the block you want to move and hit Command Shift and then up to take it up and down to bring it down. And that's maybe helpful to you. And you can reorder them. So if I up this one enough, it'll go ahead and go above that other one. Comment. So this is going to be Command Shift M if you want to leave a comment on something, and then discard the comment. Or you can go ahead and just /comment. That will do the same thing. You don't even have to type in comment all the way, /com. There, it'll come up, just press enter. If you want to go from light mode to dark mode, I say switch between dark to light, but we all know that we should be in dark mode. And if you're not in dark mode, you're doing something very wrong, but that will go ahead and super quickly change your thingy. Next, we're going to go ahead and do some simple blocks in Notion, and this is where things really get powerful when we're moving things around and we're making notes or we're working in pages. Knowing how to create these things is a lot quicker than hitting Command anything. So if we want to make a code block, press the tilde key 3 times, and that makes a big fat code block. If you want to make these little red things that you've seen on the screen, it's one little, I don't know what it's called, honestly. That's not an apostrophe. It's the tilde key. You can say red box thing, and then you do it again, and boom, it will go ahead and turn that into whatever. If you want to make a toggle, press the little angle bracket key, I guess it's called, less than, greater than. Press the greater than sign, hit space bar, and then boom, it makes a toggle. If you want to make a quote block, hit the quote, press space, and quote. And if you want to make a bullet point, you can do star, space, you can do plus space, or you can be a normal person and type in hyphen, space, and bullet point. If you want to quickly make a checkbox, you do one bracket and then the other bracket and then checkbox. If you want to make a list, you can do 1, that'll make a list. You can do A, that'll make a A list, and then I to make whatever you want to append your lists with. You can do that. And then if you want a full page divider, you press hyphen 3 times, 1, 2, 3. Boom, nice, beautiful page divider. And if you want to modify the current block you're on, so if we make a checkbox, if we press Command and Enter, it will uncheck that checkbox. Or if we have a toggle and press Command Enter, it'll open or close that toggle. Super cool. Tab will nest a block and Shift Tab will unnest a block. So if we go to bullet, let's say I want to make sub bullet, right? And you can see that there's a nice little different bullet point, and we can do it one more time, another one, and you can keep doing this forever, though they reuse the bullet points. They don't have an infinite number of bullets. And this also works for the number, of course, that changes to A, and then it changes to I. And then for toggle, of course, so if I go to toggle, I press Enter, I'm in the toggle. But if I want to leave the toggle, I'll press Shift Tab, and I'm out of the toggle, and I can press Tab again, and it'll put it back into the toggle. So it's a very easy way to get in and out of the toggle. The next thing, and I use this super often, this is probably the most useful one, is the headings. /1 for heading 1, /2 for heading 2, /3 for heading 3. If you're used to Markdown, you can do the hashtag. So hashtag and then space will make a heading 1, 2 hashtag space will make a heading 2. But honestly, I think that hitting /1, /2, I'm gonna miss the 3 key every now and then, so there's no point in accidentally typing a $sign when I'm trying to type a hash. So I like the /1, /2, /3. If you want to make a toggle heading, you can go ahead and type in TOGGL1 and then and that'll make a toggle heading. You could also go ahead and just do a heading 1 and then type the angle bracket, and that will turn it into what you want it to be. Those toggle headings are super great. And now if you want to edit the current block, which can be super helpful, you can go ahead and, let's say text, for example, you can hit Command and then /, and that'll open this menu up and you can edit the block you're in. That might be the color, commenting, moving, turning it into, duplicating, deleting, etc. Command-Shift-P will move the current block to a different page. So if I want to move this, I can hit Command-Shift and P, and that will move it to one of these pages. I don't know. Oh yeah, we can just move it to reading list. We can see it right at the bottom of reading list. Super, super cool. You can also just /move too if you don't want to hit Command P or Command Shift P, my bad. Now we're going to get into some really basic Notion commands. So if we want to search the current page that we're in, we can Command F, search current page. Yeah, if you need to know how to spell for that one, so I don't know if I can do that. But if you want to search your entire workspace, if you're in one page but you're like, I know I wrote this somewhere in my Notion, I don't know where, you can hit Command P and you can search, for example, gut microbiome, and that will pick up everywhere that I've written gut microbiome. You can add a filter, you can sort by. This is a great way to search or index your entire Notion workspace. If you want to zoom into the Notion, you can hit Command plus. If you want to zoom out, hit Command minus, or you can hold Option and you can hold Option and drag to duplicate a block. So if I take this block and I hold Option, I can go ahead and drag this around, and that will make another one. If I want to make a new subpage, I can type a new page here, type page here. That'll open this little new thing, and all I have to do is press enter, and that will make a completely new subpage for me. If you want to link to an already existing page, so it's called backlinking, we can type in, say reading list again, and then we can link that to the page. And if we go to reading list, we'll actually see a backlink, and it'll show us exactly where we were linked from. So that's also super cool. Now the important thing here is, remember, if you type in the plus sign and then you hit space, it will make a list. So you want to not press space when you're making a new page. Make sure you don't hit that space button. For this one, if I hit space, what happens? Oh, nothing. You can press space bar here, but probably don't do that, just for best practice, I guess. If you want to make a completely new page in the Notion desktop app, you can hit Command N. I'm not going to do that here, but you can do that. Command open bracket is going to take you back to the last page that you were on. So we were just on reading list. Actually, I pressed this. So where this is probably going to take me to my, oh yeah, takes me to reading list. Awesome. And then to go forward again, Command and close bracket. And that it removed my spacing. Here we go. Yeah, if you went back a page, Command close bracket, Command open bracket. I learned about this recently. It's really good. I really like this one. The next one is slash commands in Notion. So this is obviously how you access everything in Notion. Almost every single thing that we showed you in this in all of these, you can find in the slash commands. It's just a lot easier to type in angle bracket space than typing in toggle, but you can do that if you want to. But if you want just any slash thing, you hit slash and you press your thing and then you press enter and it will go ahead and make that. And so databases, if you want to make an inline database, we can say gallery, create a gallery view, and boom, there's a beautiful inline database right there. And that obviously works for all of the databases. Table, there's a table view. I guess you need to type in view, and then list, etc., calendar, timeline, whatever you want to do. If you want to change a block type, for example, let's say I have a heading 1, but I actually want that to be a heading 2, we can say turn 2, and then boom. Very cool, very easy, and we can turn toggle. Oh, not goggle, toggle, or turn bullet. You can turn anything into anything you want. Very, very fun and great. Now, if you want to escape any of these menus, so if we have this emoji menu, say we're just typing in a colon and we start typing something and we see this thing, it's not fun, we don't want it there, we just want to type in flame for some reason, then you can press escape, it'll exit that. If you press slash, so if you're saying slash and or, you want to just hit escape and you can make that go away. Same with the at, which we'll go over in a minute, the bracket, all of these things you can go ahead, press escape, it'll take you out of it. Also, I don't know if I had it written here, but if I am on a block and I press escape, it will select that block and that will let me hit, I don't know, command slash again, and that'll let me change it if I want to, or I can delete it, whatever you want to do. Finally, we have some other Notion commands. If you are working with a workspace in Notion, working with a team in Notion, this might help for a few things. So at person, if you have there's no one in here except for me, but if I, friend, right, you can mention someone and it will notify them if they have those on. A date, so you can just have a date. So let's say today or tomorrow, and that's just a date you have there. It'll open a little cute calendar if you want that. And then if you want a reminder, so if you have notifications on for Notion, whether that be in the email or the app, you can go ahead and say at, so the at symbol, and then remind, say tomorrow. And that will make this beautiful little blue icon, or you can, of course, click on this and change the remind on the day of event, change it to 31st and next Sunday. There we go. And that's a great way to do that. And also this entire page with all of these things on it, as you can see, there's these tiny little things that are there. So this page, if you want to go ahead and go back and see all of these shortcuts, I'm going to give the page in the description. It is right there, probably at the top of the description, if not close to it. So that's going to be all for this one. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that this speeds up how you work in Notion, because I know that it speeds up how I work in mine. The less you have to move your hands off the keyboard, the faster you're going to work in any program. So in Notion, you really don't have to take your hands off the keyboard too much until you start working with databases. Then you're clicking stuff and clicking off stuff. And anyways, especially the text things. So for this in Mac, this doesn't only work in Notion. This works universally in Mac. So hopefully that helps you with something or moving around quicker on your device. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. Much love. Thank you for watching. Peace.